YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here with yet another Washington football team video, and in today's video, I'm coming on here with yet another PFF rankings list for our Washington football team. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. But before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload a video about the NFL, or in this case, our Washington football team. We're so close to 3,000 subscribers. I know we can get there in no time if you guys support. So hit that big red subscribe button if you haven't already. Let's get straight into today's video. So as you guys know, a couple days ago I did the PFS reaction to the ranking the head coaches, and if you guys haven't seen that video, the link will be in the description down below. Go check that out to see where they ranked Ron Rivera. But today we're here to see where they're going to rank our Washington football team amongst the who has the best to worst rosters in the whole NFL. So they're ranking like the entire roster from offense to defense to special teams. They're going all in. So let's waste no time and get right into this list. So the team that has the best roster in the NFL according to Pro Football Focus is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Once again, no complaints, no arguments here, because they have a pretty good defense, elite defense in my opinion, led by Devin White. Then on the offensive side of the ball, you have the GOAT. You have the greatest quarterback to ever grace this game, Tom Brady. Then you have Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown. You have everything. So no complaints here. Number two, again, no complaints, Kansas City Chiefs. Even though their defense is a little bit suspect, especially that defensive line outside of Chris Jones and probably Frank Clark, Kansas City has the second best roster with Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill. So it's no arguments here yet again. Number three, the Cleveland Browns is the third best roster according to Pro Football Focus, and I can't argue with that. You know what I'm saying? They have probably, if not the best offensive line, top three offensive lines in the NFL, and they led it by my man Bill Callahan, one of the guys that we know so well. And they have a good offense, probably an elite offense depending on Baker Mayfield this year. Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry, and obviously Baker Mayfield, and they have best rushing attack in the NFL with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb leading the way. So that team being the third best roster is pretty good. You got Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward on the defensive end. So yeah, I don't have no complaints there. Number four, the Buffalo Bills. Once again, you're not going to hear any complaints out of me for this top five, because it's pretty set in stone. Buffalo Bills, fourth best roster, no arguments here. Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs. Defensive side, you got Trey White, Ed Oliver. So it's no complaints here. Once again, Buffalo is the fourth best roster in the NFL. Number five, you have the Baltimore Ravens. Now, the Baltimore Ravens is a little bit interesting, because I would like to think that they would have been higher up on this list. You just added Rashad Bateman. They got Lamar Jackson, who I personally still hasn't reached his peak. Even though he did win a league MVP, I still think he is still developing that arm. And if he does that, it's going to be crazy. They got Mark Andrews, one of the best tight ends in the NFL. And then they got a dominant run game, as we know, led by J.K. Dobbins. So that defensive side of the ball, they did lose Matthew Judon. But other than that, they still pretty much got their same roster. One of the best, if not the best left tackle in all of football, Ronnie Stanley. So that team, it's the fifth best roster. No complaints. But I would like to think that they're probably 4 or 3. So you can argue that up in the comment section if you want to. Number 6 comes in as the Green Bay Packers. Now, it's all depending on Aaron Rodgers, but if you look at their whole roster, Jair Alexander, Adrian Amos, you have a lot of good pieces on that defense, and you have Devontae Adams, and then that run game is pretty good too. You got Robert Tonyan at the tight end position, so it's pretty solid without Aaron Rodgers, but it all depends on Aaron Rodgers. If Aaron Rodgers plays, they're probably the 6th or 5th best roster in the NFL, but if Aaron Rodgers doesn't play this year, they're going to drop down possibly out of the top 10. So as of right now, let's just say Aaron Rodgers is going to play, because he's still on their roster. They're the 6th best roster out. No complaints here. Number 7, the Los Angeles Rams, with the addition of Matthew Stafford there and a couple good of offensive pieces led by Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey on the defensive end. No complaints. I mean, I want to start arguing here, but I can't, because it's nothing I can't complain about. Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, one of some solid wide receivers in the NFL. They added Deshaun Jackson, so I can't really complain here. Number 8. The Dallas Cowboys, the 8th best roster. Here we go, because they have a pretty good offense. You know what I'm saying? I can't lie about that. They have a pretty good offense, probably a top 5, top 10 offense in the NFL, but their defense is still terrible. You know what I'm saying? So if you're ranking the whole entire rosters from breakdown to like the offense, defense, and special teams, I don't know if they're the 8th best roster. Now, they're probably the 8th best offense, but they're not the 8th best roster, in my opinion. But we'll see what's going on next. They have Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, obviously, Tony Pollard, Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, Blake Jarwin, Tyron Smith, Connor Williams, Tyler Bassad, Zach Martin, and La'el Collins. Number 9, the Minnesota Vikings. Okay, Justin Jefferson, Kirk Cousins, Dalvin Cook, one of the best running backs in the NFL. That defense is pretty good with the additions of Delvin Tomlinson inside. You obviously have some good edge rushers with Danielle Hunter, so I can't really argue with that. Number 10, you have the Denver Broncos. Ooh, okay. The Denver Broncos, who I think have a really good wide receiver core with Jerry Jeudy, Courtland Sutton, KJ Hamler, but they really did disappoint because of injuries hit them last year. And then Drew Lock was terrible. So I think if Drew Lock can be pretty good for this team, they're going to go some places because that defense is really good too with Ronald Darby and a lot of other pieces. Von Miller still there, but I don't know if they're the 10th best roster. I would like to think our defense is better than Denver. Number 11 coming up here is the San Francisco 49ers, another team who I think we could possibly be better in as far as a whole entire roster goes. They have George Kittle, they got Jimmy Garoppolo, Trey Lance, who's going to be the starter, I don't know. They got Trent Williams there on the offensive line. They paid him a buttload of money. They got Nick Bosa. They got a nice defensive line, Eric Armstead, all those guys, Raheem Mostert, Kyle Juszczyk, who plays a big role, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, Mohamed Sanu, solid team. And number 12, here we go. Number 12, the 12th best roster in the NFL, the Washington football team, according to PFF, has the 12th best roster in the NFL. Let's see why they put us at number 12 by starting with the biggest strengths. It says spending premium draft picks on the same position group year after year should lead to success. It doesn't always work out that way, but it certainly has for Washington's defensive line. Chase Young and Montez Sweat both graded out as top 12 edge rusher defenders in the NFL last season. Jonathan Allen was one of the league's best interior pass rushers in 2020, and Deron Payne remains a steady presence against the run inside. Those 4+ rotational pieces such as Matt Ioannidis, Tim Settle have developed into arguably the league's best defensive line. Can't complain with that at all. Now let's look at their biggest weakness. The decision to release Morgan Moses opened up a potential weak spot on what appears to be a solid offensive line. Cornelius Lucas and the second-round option rookie Samuel Cosmi are among the top options to fill the vacancy at the right tackle. Lucas played well in 2020, earning a 78.9 overall grade across the 9 stats, or across his 9 starts rather. But those 9 starts represented a career high for the 7th-year veteran. As for Cosmi, there are a few things he needs to clean up technically, or his technical clause, and which could lead to a slow start in his NFL career if rushed into the starting job. So let's read their X factor next. They talked about Samuel Cosmi, and we're gonna talk about that after we read the X factor. The X factor for Washington in 2021 is Ryan Fitzpatrick. Ryan Fitzpatrick's career has been a roller coaster when it comes to production. There have been more highs than lows as of late. Though Fitzpatrick past 3 seasons in Tampa Bay and Miami have resulted in 3 highest single season grades of his NFL career, an Alex Smith-led passing attack that targeted players short of the first down marker at a league high of 67% last year, didn't strike fear in opposing defenses. Regression remains a possibility for Fitzpatrick, but he'll at least add more of a downfield element to this offense. So I can't complain with nothing they just said there. And starting with the X factor, I literally just made a video the other day talking about who is Washington's biggest weakness, and I said it's Ryan Fitzpatrick because our season depends on Ryan Fitzpatrick. If Fitzpatrick goes out there performing well, we could possibly be 11-12 win team. But if Ryan Fitzpatrick performs how we know Ryan Fitzpatrick can perform, we're going to be a 5, 6, maybe even 4 win team. So it all depends on Ryan Fitzpatrick. Now, as far as the biggest weakness, they said the cutting of Morgan Moses was questionable, and that offensive line, the right tackle position, is our biggest weakness. We don't know who's going to play that. That's true. You have Samuel Cosme that we just drafted, and they said if he could fix up a couple things with this technique, he could be very well. But if we do rush him into the starting lineup, as come week 1, he could be very bad, or he could at least have a setback to at least start his NFL career. So they said it would probably be better to, put Cornelius Lucas out there, but I can't complain with that. I mean, they said our defensive line is one of the best. They didn't mention nothing about the secondary. Other than that, I really can't complain with that. We're the 12th best roster. I like to think that we're better than teams like Denver overall. We're better than the 49ers roster overall. I would like to think that, but you never know. Ryan Fitzpatrick really holds this team down, and I really hope he can prove a lot of people that are downing him wrong. But when I say he's holding us down, it's not that I'm saying he's terrible or anything. I'm just saying it's a big question mark. It's unknown of what he's going to do. So that's the biggest reason why we're probably number 12 and not ahead of teams like Denver, like San Francisco. So yeah, man, I just wanted to come over here quickly to tell you guys about that. Let me know what you guys think about this video down below. We're the 12th best roster in the NFL according to Pro Football Focus. Do you agree with it, or do you think we should have been a little bit higher? As always, it's me and boy Juan Gotti. Like, comment, subscribe. Hell to the Washington football team. We're so close to 3,000 subscribers. I know we can get there in no time if you guys support. So hit that big red subscribe button if you haven't already. I'm out. Peace. Cross me one time, that's gonna get you popped. Get you popped.